Welcome to the Fantasy Football Warriors podcast. We are your hosts, Eddie Bravo, Tank Sinatra. We're bringing you the next mock draft of the season, and we're gonna start a little earlier this mock draft. We're gonna randomize. We're gonna find ourselves a little early pick somewhere because the last time we picked at 11. Yeah. All right. Last time we picked at 11, we're gonna pick. I don't know, whatever the randomizer gives us here. And we're going to go from there.
Randomize.
Use our savvy here and our prowess.
Overall,
looking at number 3.
Fate's
cool.
not upon us. We didn't have
Let's
to
get
roll there. Make sure everything's the same. All right, let's do it.
Let's get after it.
So, the way I'm seeing the current state of the draft board is early picks favor going running back early, like and then
even with early pick favors.
That's kind of what I've been noting. Like it can
even
favor
though wide receivers kind of drying up a little quicker this year,
because you can grab like some of the elite guys, Saquon, Jahmyr Gibbs, Bijan, right? Whereas if you've got a later pick, you're looking at all those running backs are gone, right? And so now the value is kind of at going wide receiver in that first round, the way I've been kind of seeing it, and then taking advantage of the running backs that are going in rounds 2 through 5, which are all really great values, and stacking those guys is the way I see maximizing the value if you have a later round pick versus maximizing it when you've got an early round pick. Obviously, I always say this, but all this general theory is general theory, and you're going to have to make sure you adapt to your draft board and not be dogmatic and thinking a certain strategy is just going to always work, and that's the best one. It needs to be fluid with how your draft actually shapes up.
Yep, as it's progressing, absolutely. Got to stay fluid. Be water, my friends. As the great Bruce Lee used to tell us.
All right, so
number 3.
Chase, Bijan. Seems normal-ish. So we will do exactly that. It would be Jahmyr Gibbs or Saquon for me. You could make an argument for Christian McCaffrey.
Of course.
Just, as long as Christian stays healthy, he's a safe bet to probably be the RB1 no matter what.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Obviously, Jahmyr Gibbs and Saquon, due to the last few years, feel safer. And either one of them could be the RB1 as well. And Jahmyr Gibbs, if something were to happen to David Montgomery, is going to break the league.
Yeah.
But I think
we're both leaning
smartest
in the
thing
same spot
is
here.
to go Saquon Barkley and not think anything more of it.
Yeah, you want to minimize that risk. Obviously, Christian McCaffrey.
You can't predict injury, but
you can't predict injury, but the debate rages on, right, with Christian McCaffrey and
there is no
concerns.
argument that at this point in his career and with his history that his chance of injury is at least something you have to bake in at this point, right?
Absolutely.
I don't like labeling players injury prone or predicting. Like I said, you can't predict injury. It could happen to any player at any moment. And if you are drafting based off of that, you're kind of setting yourself up for failure. But at the end of the day, it's like with Tua, right? At the end of the day, with the track record and history we've got with Tua, it's something you have to at least consider and bake in. That's where we're at with Christian McCaffrey, in my opinion.
Yeah. And then the Jahmyr Gibbs pick, at the end of the day, he's sharing time with Monty. Monty's not going anywhere, right? That is going to be a thunder and lightning thing with the Lions as long as David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs are both there together. So Saquon, full workload, give it to me all day.
And for me, as I think we might have talked about it, I don't know, Jahmyr Gibbs, even though, yes, David Montgomery is always going to have a role when healthy, we saw last year it doesn't matter. He was still a top 5 running back.
Absolutely.
I think he was the RB2.
He doesn't need the full workhorse load.
Depending on your scoring. Even while sharing time, he was the RB2.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if something happened to Montgomery, he's probably single-handedly winning you your championship. So it's just like the floor is super safe because he doesn't need an increase in workload to do anything. He secures
he can still be that RB
high-end running back.
Right.
But he also has scenarios where it's like he shatters.
If David
ceiling,
Montgomery's out, whew.
So,
Lord have mercy.
Like I said, like I've said, I don't know what I've said in the privacy of my home versus what I said on the last mock draft video, but for me, it's Saquon, Jahmyr Gibbs, as who I'm drafting, and then I'm probably drafting Christian McCaffrey. Those are probably the only two I'm going to draft as far as running backs go. You can make the argument for Bijan, and I'm not going to fight you too hard on it. But for me personally, I'm probably going Christian before Bijan, and then I'm going Gibbs and Barkley before Christian. It's the way I see it. I could be wrong, but that's just how I feel.
Hey, fantasy is not a perfect thing.
That's what gives me the warm and fuzz.
Yeah, we use the information we have, the history we've had, and we make our projections best we can, right?
All right, so we see, the standard wide receivers go off the board here. Running backs, Nico Collins, or not Nico Collins. Derrick Henry creeped into round 1 here.
I did see that. Look at that.
Don't mind that.
No.
Yeah, pretty
not.
standard. All right, with that, so a lot of the top end running backs are off the board now. I would consider Chase Brown here, Jonathan Taylor. I think are the two I'd consider. Not looking at quarterback in round 2.
No.
Wide receiver here. I kind of don't love this tier.
No, I don't
at all.
either.
I would prefer to wait until we get into the Mike Evans, DJ Moore's.
Yeah, me too.
Terry McLaurin is expected to report back to camp. So yeah, I would be looking at DJ Moore, Mike Evans, Cortland Sutton, maybe Ted.
No Scary Terry? You would be looking at Scary Terry there?
He was good last season, and obviously the.
I know I had him last season, and I was not upset with it.
No, not at all. But they added Deebo Samuel, and there's something to at least consider with an addition like that to how the offense is gonna.
Right.
Terry McLaurin had the entire wide receiver room to himself realistically last season, and so when you add in another competent wide receiver, the targets aren't going to go up. The target share isn't going to go up. So then you have to wonder, okay, is he going to even be able to do what he did last season?
Right.
Right? And he's obviously not going in a ridiculous range where you got to be super concerned about that, but it is at least something to consider, whereas DJ Moore is a wide receiver with, Ben Johnson coming over, Caleb hopefully developing. He's someone who I could see
can go further
than he did last season, right? Obviously, you can make the same argument with DJ Moore because they drafted Colson Loveland, they drafted Luther Burden, both having great camps. There is even more target competition, so I can see that argument as well. But DJ Moore has always been a higher end target earner in his career than Terry McLaurin has. So Terry McLaurin, I feel like his game, while it matches Jaden Daniels in the deep ball, it lends itself to less consistency, right? And from a just theory perspective, if we're going running back early right now, which is I think what we're leaning towards, we are essentially saying that our running backs are going to be the strength of our team, and we need our wide receivers to at least just work out and give us consistency, right? And so I feel like having someone we can rely on.
That's where you have the Mike Evans. That's where those.
And even Mike Evans is going to give you some fluctuation.
And even him, he's going to give you some.
So I would prefer to pair Terry McLaurin, Mike Evans, people that are a little more volatile, with someone like a DJ Moore, Cortland Sutton, someone that are going to, well, no, you don't know shit, right? But someone that you can reasonably expect to be more reliable on a week-to-week basis to offset kind of the
even Mike Evans too. I've been on record as saying, some Mike Evans consistency over the years has always been kind of peaks and valleys, right?
Yeah.
But this year, the way it's shaping up, Chris Godwin, situation is what it is. They got the rookie coming in, Emeka Egbuka? What?
Emeka Egbuka.
That guy, right? I just see Mike Evans as, they're gonna have to lean on Mike this year, so that makes me more comfortable about his peaks and valleys kind of evening out a little bit.
Yeah. And going back to DJ Moore and Terry McLaurin, the other thing is last year we saw that the Commanders aren't going to lean into being this very pass-happy team, right? They were okay with running the ball and playing slower, right? Which is also going to limit the target ceiling for a player like Terry McLaurin, whereas we might be able to reasonably expect, given the offense, that Ben Johnson's going to want to run a fast-paced, happy team, right? That's at least what I would expect, especially with DeAndre Swift. His game is not going to be a grinder in between the tackles, play slow. That is not what it. That is not his most advantageous
his
role,
forte, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then you have DJ Moore, you have Roma Dunze, you have Luther Burden. You just drafted Colston Loveland. Like I feel like they've set themselves up to be a high flying offense.
Oh yeah.
And obviously, with the talent profile of Caleb Williams, if you can get that to develop, that really throws that offense into the stratosphere. And so, with a faster paced offense, more plays, mean more passes, that means more targets, that means more receptions.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what I'm thinking with DJ Moore there.
Absolutely.
And so,
no, I agree.
Anyway, with that, I think Chase Brown and Jonathan Taylor are the two running backs we're looking at. I prefer Chase Brown here.
I know you got an eye for Chase Brown, especially after last year. That was one of your guys.
I called that.
You called it.
Yep.
But Johnny Taylor too, though. Like Johnny Taylor,
he just makes me nervous.
The
last like 3 years, it's been like
I just see, yeah, and you have your arguments you can make for Johnny Taylor over the past 3 years, right? Where things just have not been ideal.
That end of season stretch was very good for Johnny Taylor.
Things have not been ideal for him, right? But this offense is gonna have to lean on that run.
Absolutely.
Anthony Richardson, Daniel Jones.
Bums. Just gonna call it how I see it.
They're not scaring anyone.
Nope.
And the history has shown us that offense cannot rely on them. In no way, shape, or form. It has to be Johnny Taylor leading that offense and getting. You got to lean on that run game for any of this to work, because it's not going to happen in the passing game with those QBs. I'm not even going to say the wide receivers, because
the wide receivers
I love the wide receivers, yep. Right? But the QB play, it has to be Johnny Taylor.
I completely agree with you wholeheartedly, but what does that do if you're a defense? You're not scared of Daniel Jones and Anthony Richardson.
Nope,
you're going to stack the box. You're going to make Jonathan Taylor run into a brick wall every play.
Yeah.
I'm good on that.
Yeah.
I'm good on the 30 touches for 50 yards thing. I'm good on that. I don't need that in my life.
Yeah.
And so also, if an offense is bad and it can't sustain drives,
right,
carries are not going to be there. They're going to be throwing most of the game to try to keep up.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
The carries, there's a lot to question about this offense and how that will limit Jonathan Taylor, because it's going to be on his back, right? So his efficiency probably be dog water. Touchdowns.
And that was the next thing I was going to say. If the offense stinks, where's the points coming from? Where are the TDs at?
Nope. Right?
Yeah.
And Jonathan Taylor is not a high-end reception earner. He never is. They're going to bring someone else in for third downs. So he's not even going to be able to take advantage of that.
PPR,
right?
Yeah.
Chase Brown is on a very competent offense.
Yes.
He is efficient. The offense lends itself to efficiency in the running game,
because you have to worry about
T.
Burrow.
Higgins, Jamar Chase.
Yep.
Even Mike Gesicki is dangerous. Joe Burrow is always going to keep you on your toes as a defense. So it lends itself to Chase Brown, who's already explosive. He will work into the pass game a little bit.
Yeah, he sure will.
Right. So for me, it's Chase Brown is the pick here, and that's
Chase Brown.
That's the way I see it.
Get him.
And he is also got a really locked in role. For volume too, so I feel like Chase
even
Brown,
more than last year now.
Yep, with Zach Moss, them releasing Zach Moss,
gone.
They completely tipped their hand.
Chase Brown,
Chase Brown
take us there.
Exactly,
absolutely.
Right. So we walked through that. Here's where I think we should start. We could maybe even go like Breece Hall, Amari, and Hampton even, and just secure a nasty running thing, and then just because. What we'll have quite a bit of picks that go by.
Yeah, we are. There's going to be a lot that transpires here until it gets back to us. We got a long wait, so maybe
these running backs will not be here,
right?
But we can look at Travion Henderson, R.J. Harvey, Swift, Montgomery. These guys might be there, and I'm fine with that in the flex as well.
Yeah, I think wideout is maybe where we should go.
T. Higgins, like I said, Mike Evans, DJ Moore. Terry even.
We got a long wait. If we believe in DJ Moore like that, I think maybe
go DJ Moore and see
here
who else
on
is
DJ Moore is where, because we we got a long wait, and we want our guys, right? So if we feel like he's the best option out of those wideouts, it's probably better to grab him now before he's gone.
Let's do it. See what happens here.
Let's see how it plays out. Look at that. Look at all those wideouts went.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Evans and everybody.
Yep.
And now the running backs that you were highlighting in that tier are still there. So that was the right move. Grabbing more now and just getting the premier.
Yeah, because I'm fine with like literally Chuba, Travion, RJ Harvey, DeAndre Swift, David Montgomery, Aaron Jones.
You got great options here. You do.
Am completely
Chuba
fine with all of
Hubbard,
those
where
guys.
he already showed last year, he can do it. RJ Harvey, Sean Payton's new quote unquote joker that he calls him. Great, right? Travion Henderson already showing really great things up in New England. I mean, really, DeAndre Swift is still there. If
Monty, Aaron Jones,
Monty's still there, so
No issues.
we got some. We could even, well,
And
I don't really like the wideouts that are in that.
Cortland Sutton, T Mac.
I mean, Cortland Sutton. I'm always on the fence with Cortland Sutton.
He's not a ceiling play, but
I'm
in
always
this
on the
offense,
fence with him.
like I was talking about, he's a really safe kind of guy. Like you can see that it's gonna be consistent.
Yeah, I'm always on the fence with him, and I always feel like this year, like maybe he takes maybe we get a little more out of him now that he's had now that he's got going into year 2 with Bo Nix. Now that there's obviously that something was renewed with him last year with Bo Nix, because before that he was to me undraftable, right? But now going into year 2, maybe we get a little more. Maybe we get a little more out of him. But like I said, I'm still just on the fence because it was only last year that we saw this little more of consistency out of him. So
I don't see Cortland Sutton as someone who's going to improve from what they did last year, but I think we can rely on him to do something similar, and
right.
I think there is value
There's
in
value
that,
there,
right? Yeah. Especially with this build at this point, we just need wide receivers to not bust, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like Cortland Sutton is a pretty bust-proof wide receiver, competent offense, competent quarterback, clearly the wide receiver 1, right? He's not going to give you anything crazy. He's not going to go out there and put up Jamar Chase numbers ever, right?
Right.
That's not going to happen. But he's going to give you a consistent baseline.
That contributor every week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's someone you can expect to probably get you anywhere from 15 to 20 points week in and week out, kind of get you in that range. And I think there's value to understanding that, especially with the Bark and Chase Brown up here as potentially our big contributors. We just need these guys to
do their part,
do their job, yeah. and that's that, right? T-Mac, similar kind of situation. Offense is okay. Quarterback was starting to get it together. He's clearly the wide receiver 1 on this team, having a great camp, and so there is some ceiling here for what the true ceiling is. Obviously, we don't know, but clear wide receiver 1 on this offense, and Bryce Young needs a clear wide receiver. They have not set him up for success over there either. They have given him 33-year-old Adam Thielen has been his wide receiver 1.
Right.
And we've seen what that has been like. Adam Thielen, when he's been healthy over with the Panthers, has been a actually pretty good option, right? So now you have a younger T-Mac here. If he gets that target share,
all we need,
sky's the limit, right?
All that's needed is Bryce Young to continue taking those steps forward.
Yeah, that we saw towards the end of the year, right? So T-Mac is an option here. Obviously, we like George Pickens. Calvin Ridley is certainly interesting.
He is a little interesting. Calvin Ridley, to me, it's, since his return, he's giving you the flashes. Yeah, well, year 1, he was used in the worst possible way, ever. Yep. Just run down the field.
Call it a day.
And call it a day. If we see you, we see you, right? It was awful.
Then he goes to the Titans, and it's like the quarterback play is awful. This offense is awful. Everything about this situation is awful.
Right.
I'm not saying the offense is going to be elite this season, but I think Cam Ward gives
Them
a
something
little
better.
more volatility with the situation here, where it's like if he gets going, Calvin Ridley is the clear wide receiver 1, and in the preseason game, he showed a propensity in his drive to look for Calvin Ridley. I think it was. I calculated the target share like days ago. I don't remember what it was, but it was a high target share. I think it was like
Yeah, it was. It was
like 28% or something like that.
I think it might have been even higher than that, but
he was clearly looking for him. Let's just say that.
And Cam Ward he has come in as a good young leader for this team. He really has. Based off the training camp stuff, the preseason game that's already in the books, like I think that Cam Ward can definitely,
and the talent is there.
Right, the talent's there.
He went number 1 overall for a reason.
Yeah, I think that Cam Ward can definitely fuel what Calvin Ridley's been missing since his return. So I feel pretty good about Calvin Ridley as well.
So this guy is definitely going to go wide receiver. This guy, I don't know what he's going to do, frankly. He could go either way.
He's got
I think there's
Ra.
enough of a surplus of running backs we like in this range that we should secure whichever of these wideouts we like the most. We've got 3 wide receiver 1s. George Pickens is a wide receiver 2, but he's probably in the most stable situation.
Yeah, I think that George Pickens here, from the options we have, probably has the most upside. Outside of...
Probably Ridley.
Outside of Calvin Ridley. So here, if Pickens and Ridley are our choices, right? Pickens is obviously the wide receiver 2 over there. He's not going to overtake CeeDee Lamb's workload in any way, shape, or form. But he's going to get his, right? Yep. Calvin Ridley, wide receiver 1, over here with Cam Ward.
But it's a situation we don't know.
Right. We know what the Dallas offense is going to bring. It's going to be high passing, high scoring. We know that, right?
This should be a career year for George Pickens, right? I can feel more confident in that than I can feel in Calvin Ridley, right?
Exactly.
And I always talk about fantasy football is all ceiling. Realistically, if you don't hit on league winners, you're not going to win your league. It's that simple.
George Pickens feels like more
but you
of
have
a league
to
winner.
Also balance that out with what is the probability, right? The probabilities of George Pickens having his best season is much higher to me this year than it is for Calvin Ridley to have his best season this year.
Right.
Right? And so, with that, I think we'll go George Pickens.
Let's get him.
We could maybe grab another one of these wide receivers depending on what happens here on the board, but I think I might be looking towards the running back. So, everyone but Calvin Ridley went. I don't mind Calvin Ridley as our wide receiver 3. But Chuba, RJ Harvey, all these guys are still here. And if we wait...
And we got Aaron Jones still there.
Another round here. It's hard to say. I feel like running back's going to start going off the board.
Yeah.
So, I say we grab one of these running backs and...
Get our flex going.
Maybe one of Calvin Ridley, Rashee Rice maybe even. It's pretty gross after that too, though. This is a difficult situation.
It is.
I feel like, obviously, we put our first 2 picks in the running back, and more draft theory here. We have more value allocated to our running back position than our wide receivers. It makes sense to take more shots on wide receivers because Bark and Chase Brown are so locked in. We feel confident with that, whereas there's more variability here with DJ Moore and George Pickens. That's why we drafted him later, right?
Yeah, and really, we still have a good.
I feel like even Tyron Tracy is a good
we still have good
prize.
options here.
Joe Mixon, even
if a lot of these guys go right. So
Jordan Mason.
Let's grab another one out here.
So Calvin Ridley is our guy.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's pull the trigger on Ridley.
See what happens. The run at running back certainly occurred.
That sure did.
But Aaron
Alright,
Jones
but
is still
see,
there. and
Aaron
Tyron
Jones is still there. Nice.
All right.
And I'm completely fine with taking Mr. Aaron Jones here.
Yeah, don't mind it at all. All right. I think that's what we do. I almost wonder, how do we feel about Tyrone Tracy over Aaron Jones?
I feel
Minnesota's better offense. It's just
Yep.
that's a done deal. Aaron Jones is older than Tyrone
Yeah.
Tracy. Tyrone Tracy's going into year 2 here.
I just feel like there's a world where Cam Scatterbo can make a run for this gig, whereas I don't feel like Jordan Mason can make a run towards Aaron Jones's spot.
How
See what
probable do you think that is? I would almost say it's almost more probable that maybe Aaron Jones gets hurt and Jordan Mason is the league winner here than it
Yeah,
is that
you
Cam
think so?
Scatterbo overtakes Tyrone Tracy.
Well,
Though it's hard to say, right?
I mean, yeah,
It's hard to say.
It's all theory, right? I
say
think
we go
should
Aaron
stick-
Jones. I think
I think
I
we
was
should
just raising the
stick.
question.
Yeah, no, I think we should stick to what we always talk about, and that's you want your players on
good offense.
good offenses, right?
Though I think the Giants could surprise this year.
No, yeah, I believe
know-
wholeheartedly that they could surprise, but we haven't seen it yet.
Yep.
We have not seen it yet. We've seen it from Minnesota.
So we'll go there. Probably should start looking at quarterback in these next couple of rounds. See what's left.
Tight end too.
Well, at this point, we're punting tight end to the Colson Loveland, Dalton
Yeah,
Kincaid,
okay.
Hunter Henry.
Dalton.
Drop your little Dalton Kincaid nugget. Obviously, I was in love with Dalton Kincaid last year. He was my fantasy football Valkyrie. Did not work out.
Didn't work out.
But my
All
my compatriot here has some information that might rejuvenate the fire
yeah.
in the loins there for Dalton
So
Kincaid.
Dalton Kincaid, the according to sources in the league, right? Dalton Kincaid was dealing with injuries that weren't really highlighted last year, right? Which directly impacted his not only the expectations we had for him as a tight end coming into this offense, being drafted where he was, right? The other nuggets are also that, from the team perspective, they love Dalton Kincaid. They are in no way, shape, or form giving up on him. They want to utilize him in the manner that they drafted him for, right? He was just dealing with injuries last season that weren't, like I said, highlighted. So it just looked like when you were watching the games, what's going on?
Yeah,
right? Like
is this
where
guy? This guy's disappearing.
Where is this guy? Why are they not using Dalton Kincaid, right? And that also led to the why do we see Dawson Knox on the field? Right? There was a lot of that going on too. So according to team sources and all of that, Dalton Kincaid is ready to rock. They are ready to use him in the manner that was expected last year. So if you were watching the games last year and you were thinking to yourself, what is going on with Dalton Kincaid? I guess, if you had thoughts in your mind like, well, I guess maybe he wasn't that good, or, oh man, he's stuck in a rotation with Dawson Knox, or whatever it is that you felt, you thought, or you knew about the Dalton Kincaid situation over there with the Bills, just scratch it, leave it in last year, and find yourself some Dawson Knoxes, some Dalton Kincaid.
Especially with how late
year.
he's going, you can easily
Absolutely, with how late he's going,
do the old throw two darts at the tight end position and hope something sticks.
And if you look at that offense over there with the Bills, they need Dalton Kincaid.
Absolutely,
they absolutely need him to be out there catching passes. So
anyway. So, we have a long haul after this pick coming up, obviously. Can't really predict what the hell's going to go on here. I think we wait another round for quarterback. There's so many of them that I feel good about. Baker, Bo Nix,
Yeah, sure.
Dak, Justin Herbert, Caleb Williams, Jared Goff, Drake May. There's just so many of them that I feel good about that I think we can wait another round or two. At wide receiver, I think right now Jalen Waddle kind of makes sense. If Tua stays healthy, you're getting a fantastic wide receiver too.
Yeah.
And the other perspective here for Jalen Waddle is the bad vibes with Tyreek Hill, right? That dude could get traded at any point, especially if this this team feels that they're not going anywhere this season. If Tua gets hurt, if something happens, right? Tyreek Hill could absolutely get traded this season, and Jalen Waddle immediately steps into what, top 8 wide receiver if that happens.
Top 8?
I think it's possible.
Think so?
We know what Jalen Waddle can do as the wide receiver.
Yeah, we do.
Right?
We do.
As a rookie, he was doing that, right? So, and he comes in as our wide receiver 4, like, and in this build right now, it absolutely makes sense to me for Jalen Waddle, like that level of upside at this discount, right? Because if Tua stays healthy, you're getting a fantastic contributor, and now you have another ceiling case if Tyreek Hill goes anywhere, where you're getting a even bigger value, right? And so the upside with Jalen Waddle is tremendous, and considering we have 3 wide receivers as it is interesting to me. Tyron Tracy is still there. Jordan Mason, I would obviously go Tracy over Mason, I think.
Yeah.
And then after that, we'll start getting into a lot of the handcuffs at running back.
Yeah.
We already have 3 we feel good about, right? But we're pretty even everywhere. And if we pass up on Jalen Waddle and wait to come around, we'll be looking at Diggs. I would say a Doomsday, but we already have more.
I'm even good with that. I feel
Diggs,
like we should maybe grab Tracy before
and
running
just not
back.
draft running back the rest of the draft pretty much. And
Like,
just throw
yeah,
those,
unless we, get into the super later rounds and we're looking like at a Nick Chubb, things like that, where we're like, oh, this is a player that has a clear path to a starting gig. If, with whatever happens with Joe Mixon, I think we should grab our next running back before it completely falls off the cliff. I think there's still other wide receiver options there that we can get after Jalen Waddle that could give us, the same production.
Looks like we made the right decision. There was wow, Jordan Mason is still there. That is super interesting, but I think we should probably start stacking wide receivers. So Diggs, Pearsall, maybe even Debo, Cooper Kupp, Matthew Golden, Darnell Mooney. There's plenty of wide receivers here.
Yeah, I'd say let's go Diggs. Just grab Diggs there and in
quarterback.
New England.
You can probably wait one more round technically, because both of these guys, neither one of these guys have quarterback. If 2 of those quarterbacks went off the board, it'd probably be what? Prescott, maybe Williams, hard to say. And then what? We just double dip on what? Maybe Herbert and Drake May. I don't think it really matters.
I mean,
Do we
Caleb's still there too. And Goff. Like, we got options.
Yeah.
We definitely have options. We're not hurting by waiting another round for QB. So, really, our choices here, we got Jacoby Myers, Diggs, Adunze, Juwan Jennings. More. I mean, of all these wideouts, really, there's only one person there that's going to command a wide receiver 1 role, and it's Diggs.
More than likely. Yeah. He's coming off an ACL, though.
Well.
You never want a player coming off an ACL. Really, that first year is always like,
yeah,
you're just asking for disappointment, really.
Okay, so who would be... Okay, so let's take that into consideration. Who would be the next guy here? We've seen Juwan Jennings do well in that offense. There's no Ayuk right now. Debo leaving is well documented, right? So, Pearsall, I'm not really confident there. Jacoby Myers is interesting in Raiders land, but I'm not super confident with that either. So, really, it would be Diggs or what?
I mean, Cooper Kupp's down there is the wide receiver 2. I would say Odunze, but we already have DJ Moore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
Obviously, Matthew Golden and Darnell Mooney are interesting options, but we can wait on them.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. I don't feel like taking anyone that we're really not in love with. There's really no one here
In love with. That's why I
I'm
was
in love
starting to look
with
at the
at all.
quarterbacks, and I'm
Yeah.
almost considering taking Jordan Mason, and that's just where we're at right now. And then really just we're already at a point where it's I like to just start taking wide receivers, throwing darts here, because I feel pretty good about our running backs.
Yeah. All right. Throw a dart at where's our rookie exposure?
We have
Where's
none.
there wasn't Golden? Oh,
Matthew
but
Golden.
we can wait on him. Yeah.
We
Never
can
mind.
we could probably grab Golden. Leave the
Yeah, in
burdens
the
down
later.
here. Cedric Tillman.
I'll just grab Diggs. We'll see how it pans out.
Go Diggs. No quarterbacks went off the board. Interesting. Now let's see here. How many of these people have a quarterback coming up? They all have quarterbacks, so we can probably wait the long haul here unless they all grab two. Which, I mean, they're bots, so I guess they could do that. But
They sure can.
realistically, none of these guys are probably going to be drafting another quarterback in this next round. So I say we wait and we'll grab two on the turn coming up.
All right, let's check it out. See what we got here.
And running back, we're probably not looking there. We'll just go to our next wide receiver, which I feel like Matthew Golden. Get some rookie exposure.
Yeah, go for it. Let's see what he brings to the Bay.
We were correct. No one drafted a quarterback. I didn't think so. Looking at the board, I was like, all right. So now, what do we want to do here?
Now we got options.
We got all the
We
guys
got
we wanted.
decisions to make here.
Dak's
Dak
always
Prescott,
a safe option.
he's gonna throw.
Justin Herbert, we love, and now they have Keenan Allen over there, so there's reason to
So
believe.
now he's got Keenan and Ladd.
Jared Goff is always undervalued. Caleb Williams has a ton of ceiling. Drake May, obviously, going into year 2, he showed great running efficiency and ability. We know he's a competent passer. He's got Diggs now to rely on. If this offense, as I've talked about last season, trying to bet on offenses helps than just betting on clear players. What are offenses that could surprise, that you can get late, right? We just went Diggs. We just went Drake May. If they get things popping, that offense gets moving and surprises. We just got discounts on 2 of those players that, is pretty good value.
Yeah, I'd say offenses that'll surprise, probably Chicago.
Chicago,
sure.
New England.
And then if you want to pair him with a safe, probably Prescott or Herberto, right? So I think the play here is definitely Caleb for the surprise and the ceiling, and then the safe is anyone from Dak to Goff to Herberto to Purdy even, which are all gone. So we got Herberto now. And
No issues with that?
I'm completely good with that. Completely good with it.
All right.
I'm looking at my boy Dalton over there.
Yeah, I said we pull the trigger.
Pull the trigger.
Damn it. We missed Dalton.
Oh, no.
All right, well, we got Dallas, Godare, Colson Loveland, Hunter Henry, Brenton Strange. Say we go... Godare and...
Well, so we got Brenton Strange over there occupying the tight end 1 after Ingram left Jacksonville. There's definitely some value there, something to be said there. And, I mean, Loveland was drafted high. you know.
He was. It's just a crowded offense.
It is a very crowded offense, but and Godare. I guess I guess I guess Goddard gives you the
Pretty safe option.
pretty safe, consistent contributor in that offense. Go Goddard.
Yeah, maybe we should have waited on Herbert and see if we would have definitely lost out on Herbert, but maybe we would have probably looked at Herbert or maybe Drake May would have maybe still been there if we waited and grabbed Dalton Kincaid here. But
that's okay.
We'll live. We'll live. All right. The only thing I'll say right now is I typically think it's best not to double dip on both quarterback and tight end. Now, you can get away with that in certain leagues like ours where you have a really deep bench, right? It can happen. But even with that, I'd prefer to hit on a high end tight end and then wait on quarterback and double dip, or hit on a high end quarterback and then wait on tight end and double dip, than doing it with both. Just
Yeah, no.
generally
I
speaking,
think,
that's how this draft worked out, and that's fine.
yeah.
But
No, I think we're good with Goddard here. I don't think we need to double dip. I would say, we finish up with either like a Nick Chubb or another wideout that we feel might have a clear path to a starting role.
well, Nick Chubb ain't here anymore. We'd be looking at handcuffs. Will Shipley for Saquon. Outside of that, kind of gross. Wide receiver wise, we've still got Tillman, Burden. And then outside of that, Keenan Allen is really low here.
There you go.
There
you go.
I think that's what I'm gonna do.
That's a great value right there.
That is what I'm gonna do. All right. I'm surprised his ADP's that low here on Fantasy Pros, but I get it too. All right. Now we finish up with defense and kicker. As always, we'll go Dicker the kicker.
Absolutely. Let's go.
And defense. Detroit Lions. Perfect. Is that what we drafted last week?
I think it was, yeah.
I'm nothing but not consistent.
All right.
Beautiful. All right. So.
Definitely a good build. For sure. Caleb, Saquon, Chase, Moore, Pickens, Goddard, Ridley, Lions, Cameron. We got Aaron Jones, Tyrone Tracy, Stephon Diggs, Matthew Golden. I think we have a very, very, very good build here. We have a lot of flexibility here if any of these players just doesn't quite meet the mark. We have pivot points here, and it's not like the pivot points are anything to scoff at.
No,
right?
not at all.
We definitely have a very, very good build here, given the options that were available to us at each pick. I think we maximize the value of every single pick on the way down.
Yeah, I'm digging it. I think we got to showcase how when you've got an early pick, you can definitely afford to go running back, and secure some really great running backs with Bark and Chase Brown, and then just hammer out wide receivers. We probably could have hit wide receiver even a little harder, frankly. We probably could have done like Bark, Chase Brown, maybe George Kittle, and then went like 3 rounds of, maybe we could have seen DJ Moore, George Pickens. Like I feel like that could have worked out really well too, and just hammered hard on the pass catchers after them, which we kind of did, but then we still went Aaron Jones, and we balanced it out. But yeah, I think we showcased that. Early round picks, you can definitely get away with going double running back this season.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was good. I love it.
And that's what I was talking about to open later round picks. You kind of hit on the really good wide receivers because you've missed out on the really good running backs at that point. So you hit the wide receivers, and then you take the value on those mid-round running backs. And then with an early round pick, you are able to hit on those really good running backs and then try to hit on the value of those mid-range ones. That's just kind of how I see the those picks playing out
Yeah.
this season. But yeah, this is another mock draft. I like it. I think we navigated well. No issues without a doubt.
All right. So there you go. Fantasy Football Warriors, another mock draft in for the season. I hope that you were able to take away some nice fantasy nuggets that is going to contribute to you winning your league this year. So, for the Fantasy Football Warriors here, we are signing out. Eddie Bravo, Tank Sinatra, signing off. Join the militia!